So let's go back to the problems 12 and 13 and see if we could see some patterns in the coordinates that result from reflection over the x-axis and reflection over the y-axis. So these are the two main things we're looking at. And I went ahead and I put the coordinates of a and b and a prime and b prime in problem number 12. And so we can see here that when we reflected over the x-axis, coordinates -6, 1 became -6, -1. So the x-coordinate stayed the same, but the y-coordinate was multiplied by -1. The sign changed. And here for point B, the pre-image was -2, 6, and then the image after the reflection was -2, -6. So just like reflection over the line y = x, there's a rule for reflection over the x-axis. And the rule is that x, y becomes x, -y, meaning that the x-coordinate stays the same, but the y-coordinate flips signs. So if the y-coordinate was positive, it becomes negative. If it was negative, it becomes positive. And if it was 0, it stays 0. So that, for example, if we had a point, let's say 15, -4, it would become, after being reflected over the x-axis, it would become 15, 4. Okay, so that is our rule for reflection over the x-axis. Now let's take a look at problem number 13. Don't need problem 14. Let's not look over there. And this is a problem where we've reflected over the y-axis. Okay, so let's see what kind of pattern we see when we reflect over the y-axis. I went ahead and I put coordinates next to C, D, C prime, and D prime. And so we had C, which was -6, 0, becoming 6, 0. So in this case, when we reflect over the y-axis, it's the x-coordinate that changes sign, and the y-coordinate, well, we can't tell because this is 0, but we'll see the y-coordinate does not change sign. So 0 stays as 0, -6 becomes +6, and from D to D prime, we went from 2, 5 to -2, 5. So again, it was the x-coordinate that changed sign. The y-coordinate did not. Y-coordinate remained the same. So when we reflect over the y-axis, the rule is that x, y becomes -x, y. Again, the x coordinate changes signs, but the y does not. So if we had, let's say, point -2, -3, and we were going to reflect that point over the y-axis, we would end up with 2, -3. So the x-coordinate would change the sign, a y-coordinate would not. Make sure you have these notes in your notes.